see what Soul was about. It is the last film that I probably will be seeing this whole year, but I'm perfectly satisfied with that. You probably have seen quite a lot of the trailers or TV spots for it. Unfortunately, they won't be playing in cinemas because of the pandemic. If they are, feel free to check so if you do, but not where I am, I'm afraid. Not where I am. But just getting to where the film is, I actually would say is the best Pixar film that they've done as far as the original concept is concerned since Brave. Soul is. You remember that film with the Scottish princess who tries to save her mother, once she becomes a bear by accident, and she's sort of standoffish. She doesn't want to marry a man so she can gain high status. Yeah. Also, in many ways, this film is very much, I wouldn't say it's a movie for the times, but it's something to calm people down a lot, especially during what is essentially a horrible year of 17 million cases and almost 2 million deaths as we speak. Yeah, a lot to worry about there, but just getting back to where everything was, essentially follows the story of Joe Gardner, who is a jazz teacher of sorts, playing at like a, I don't know what is a middle school, but like a secondary school, and then he actually accidentally falls over into a pit where they're doing some construction, and he's brought into this other world where he sees people's souls being held intact or learning and things sort of go on. It's awfully sort of complex type of plot for an anime film, which also has a lot of moments that are fairly realistic. I was thinking to myself as I was watching this film, I'm not even going to say anything further about the plot, I think you should see for yourself, that it was almost like a weird mix between Heaven Can Wait and that down-to-earth film with Chris Rock, and It's a Wonderful Life, with the sort of jazz music or bravado of like that Charlie Parker film with Forrest Whitaker, Gold Bird. It is fairly sort of adult-minded film for what is essentially, Pixar and Disney. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's inappropriate. It's a PG film for mild bad language and fantasy threat. Or, PG in the US for thematic elements and some language. That's arguably the most uses I've heard of the word hell in an animated film, in recent years since Rango or Ants. Those, were, let's say, the most family-friendly of animated films, but they were still PG level. Same with Isle of Dogs. And overall, I just felt that the best thing about it was the jazz music elements, because it was very well crafted how they animated the movements and the little melodies that were playing around with the piano, the bass, and the drums, and the saxophone, trombones. It's very illustrative and very comprehensive. I don't think young children are going to appreciate as much unless they come from a strong musical background. I think that's the charm of it. As a musician myself, who likes making a lot of sounds and aspiring to do such a thing like that, it makes me happy to see a movie use that to its effect with also such a good story, coming from Joe Gardner's perspective. I mean, it is not perfect. There are some weaknesses with the otherworldly plot. I just didn't quite connect with it as much as the real world elements, Joe Gardner and his mother trying to come into terms with him, and his father, and how he wants to aspire to be something better than what he is, and someone, who's just struggling to get by, is something I think many people can relate to, especially with this pandemic, with lost job prospects and the feeling that everything's sort of underwhelmed. I know, as this is the first Pixar film I'm aware that has a black cast and a black co-director, and screenwriter, mind you, it is not explicit in its discussions of race like Black Panther is, but it's certainly more aware of it than most animated films are willing to give. In many ways, this is almost as woke of a film since Ralph Bakshi's Heavy Traffic and Coonskin. Sorry, that was an offensive word, or Street Fight. Very great film. If you're into sort of controversial works and adult animation, and you also like the New York setting of Soul, try Heavy Traffic and Coonskin. But let me warn you, these are not family-friendly animations, so don't show them to young children. But if you are sort of, 16, 18 plus, and you're interested in sort of the art and thematic elements and also the musicality of everything, you'll definitely like those two films. And if you like jazz music, feel free to give the Charlie Parker biopic Bird a try. It is very good. And it's also by Clint Eastwood as well, who, funny enough, done Gran Torino and Heartbreak Ridge. So you can't go wrong with that. I think getting the input from people within the industry and some of the sort of Afro-American perspective on it was definitely unique. I would not... It's not overt. It's not going to piss off... Oh, well, this is a PG, so I can get away with a little bit more cursing. But, yeah, it's not extremely political. It's not a Spike Lee film. I definitely like things to be quite overt, but it was apolitical enough to appeal to almost everyone, especially those who like music and those who love good original stories. For a year that has been as horrible as this, even on a political level, and with rallies for Gilets Jaunes and no filming of police officer bills that were passed in the French Assembly, and Black Lives Matter riots and George Floyd, what a horrible year this has been. So to see this could just bring a little spark, a little happiness in life. I hope next year isn't the same! I'm sure you're thinking about that as you're watching this. Sorry if I've gone off, but it had to be said. Otherwise we'll never learn as a people. Stay safe and stay 6 meters apart. And take care, because things are quite ugly out there. Skinny signing off until next time. We salute 2020. Solid goodbye.